The Texas wind howled like a freight train through Jack Harlan's dreams that stormy night in 2023. In his sleep, he was back at 28, watching Emily adjust her simple sundress, her green eyes sparkling under the chapel lights as she leaned in for their first kiss as husband and wife. Her laugh was like warm sunlight breaking through clouds. Then came the pounding sharp, urgent, pulling him from the haze. Jack bolted upright, heart racing, the dream crumbling into the empty chill of his ranch house. He grabbed his flannel shirt, flicked on the porch light, and yanked open the door. Framed in the glow stood a woman who could have been Emily's ghost, same eyes, same soft curls, same fragile build shivering in the downpour. But Emily had been gone for 5 years, lost to a sudden illness that no doctor could explain. Jack's coffee mug slipped from his fingers, shattering on the wood floor. Was the isolation finally cracking his mind, or had the endless Texas nights conjured up something impossible? Emily, the name slipped out like a whisper from the grave. The woman clutched a soaked duffel bag, her designer coat torn and mud-streaked. Bruises bloomed like dark flowers on her pale skin. I'm Laura, she stammered, her voice a melodic echo of Emily's, the one who used to hum country tunes while cooking breakfast. Emily's twin sister. Please, I need help. Twin sister. The words hit Jack like a bucking bronco. Emily had mentioned Laura once or twice in old emails, sibling she drifted from after their parents' messy split. Laura had stayed in New York with their dad, while Emily headed south to Texas with Mom. But seeing her now, drenched and desperate, it was like staring at a mirror of everything Jack had buried. He caught the fear in her eyes, raw and electric, mixed with the faint scent of high-end perfume and something sharper panic. "Who did this to you?" he asked, noticing the swollen lip, the finger marks circling her neck like a cruel tattoo. "My husband, Victor Slade," she whispered, tears mixing with rain on her cheeks. "He's dangerous, and he's probably right behind me." The wind rattled the shutters as Jack stepped aside. He'd grown up on this ranch, learned from his old man that you don't turn away someone in need, especially a woman marked by violence. His years as a deputy sheriff had hammered that in with fists and badges. Emily, on her deathbed, had made him swear not to let the world turn him bitter. "Come in before you catch your death," he said, closing the door behind her. But as Laura crossed the threshold, Jack felt a chill that had nothing to do with the storm, like he'd just invited in more than shelter from the rain. Over the next few days, as Laura recovered by the wood stove, wrapped in Emily's faded quilt, the one with a wildflower pattern she'd sewn during their honeymoon, she pieced out her story. Victor owned half the shipping empires in New York. Trucks, ports, warehouses, money flowing like the Hudson River. Their marriage had been arranged by her ambitious father when she hit 25, sold as a business merger. At first, Victor charmed her with diamonds and dinners, but the mask cracked fast. He started with words, Laura said, sipping herbal tea, her hands still trembling. "Criticizing my outfits, my friends. Then the slaps when I talked back. Locked doors, spies in the staff. I have scars from cigarette burns he called accidents." She rolled up her sleeve, revealing faded lines like a map of hell. Jack's fists clenched. He'd seen enough domestic calls in his deputy days to spot the cycle. "What made you run?" he pressed, stoking the fire. "He killed our housekeeper," she murmured, eyes distant. "She tried smuggling me a phone to call for help. He shoved her down the stairs, staged it as a fall. When I confronted him, she touched her throat bruises. He almost ended it. That night, I slipped sleeping pills in his scotch, grabbed cash and jewelry, and drove straight to Texas." Emily's old letters described this place like a haven open skies, a good man who could protect. Jack studied her, seeing Emily's features but a fiercer spark, like steel forged in fire, where his wife had been gentle as a spring breeze. "They'll hunt you down," he said flatly. "I know, but I had nowhere else." As winter thawed into spring, Laura didn't just hide. She breathed life back into the ranch. While Jack wrangled cattle and fixed fences, she turned his dusty house into a home, cooking hearty chili that didn't taste like cardboard, mending his work shirts with neat stitches, filling the quiet evenings with stories from her city life. But those nights by the fire tested him most. She'd curl up in Emily's armchair, reading thrillers aloud, her voice so close to his wife's, yet laced with a husky edge that stirred something dormant. One humid evening in March, as she reached for a book on the shelf, her shirt rode up, revealing a curve that hit Jack like lightning. He cleared his throat, averting his eyes. "Emily used to read like that," he muttered. "I know. She emailed about your strong hands." Laura turned, something crackling in the air. She traced a scar on his knuckle from an old bar fight. Jack should have pulled back. This was his wife's sister, vulnerable, not some fling. But her touch ignited a fire he'd thought extinguished. "Laura," he warned, but his thumb brushed her wrist, feeling her pulse race. "I haven't felt human in years," she breathed, stepping closer. "Just let me feel alive just once." Their kiss exploded like a summer storm, fierce, hungry, nothing like the tender ones with Emily. They tumbled to the rug, her nails raking his back as she claimed the moment, golden in the firelight. Afterward, lying tangled, Jack stared at the ceiling, guilt warring with a spark of hope. Outside, distant thunder rolled, but he heard engines, trucks approaching. Victor Slade rolled into the small town of Midland like a kingpin, trailing private investigators and a wad of cash thick enough to buy loyalty. In his 50s, slick-haired and suited despite the Texas heat, he checked into the best motel and worked his magic. Over bourbon at the sheriff's office, he spun his tale to Sheriff Ramirez, a man known for bending rules when the price was right. "My wife, Laura Ash's unstable." Victor sighed, sliding over forged psych evals and court orders. Grief from her father's passing messed with her head. Delusions, theft. Doctor says she needs treatment back east. The papers look legit. Victor's lawyers excelled at fakes. Ramirez pocketed the envelope. "Tragic, Mr. Slade. We'll help get her home." Word spread fast. Mike Dawson, Jack's neighbor and a trusted rancher, showed up at dawn, truck kicking up dust. Some big shot from New York asking around. Says his wife's crazy, got papers to prove it. Description matches that gal staying with you. Laura overheard from the kitchen, dropping a plate. "He's here. Oh God, he'll drag me back." Jack pulled her close. "Not on my watch." Victor didn't waste time. He arrived midday with Ramirez and 4 burly security goons, SUVs gleaming under the sun. Jack stood on his porch, shotgun loaded but legal, old deputy instinct sharp. "Jack Harlan," Victor called, voice smooth as oil. "You've got my property. Hand her over peacefully." "She ain't property," Jack shot back, hand on his hip holster. "And from what I hear, you're the one who needs locking up." Victor's smile curdled. "She's ill. These documents say so." "Sheriff." Ramirez nodded uneasily. "Legal's legal, Harlan." The tension boiled. Victor's men fidgeted, hands near concealed carry. Jack calculated distances, angles, and the way the youngest goon twitched. "I've seen your kind," Jack growled. "Beating on women cause you can't handle real power." Victor's facade cracked. "She's a thief and a liar." That's when Laura stepped out, Jack's spare pistol steady in her grip, eyes blazing. "Hello, Victor." "Mischoking me." The air froze. Victor paled. "Darling, you're confused." "Confused?" Laura's laugh cut like glass. "About the burns? The broken ribs? Or murdering Elena for helping me?" She pulled out her phone, flashing a digital journal text, photos, bank records. "Every hit, every bribe, including the $10,000 to that judge for your fake papers." Ramirez's eyes widened. The goons shifted, murmuring. Victor lunged verbally. "You bitch." Jack's shotgun pumped a warning shot into the dirt. "Finish that, and it's your last breath." Laura held firm. "Gentlemen, this is Texas. We don't tolerate abusers. Take your lies east." Victor's empire crumbled there as men backed off, Ramirez called for backup, not for Jack, but for Victor. Federal alerts pinged on Laura's evidence. Turns out his business hid more crimes than bruises. By summer, Victor faced indictments, his assets frozen. Laura was free, truly. She stood on the porch, watching Jack break a young horse with patient hands, much like he'd gentled her fears. "Penny for your thoughts?" he asked, joining her. "About how Emily would smile, seeing you alive again." She leaned into him. "Emily loved me," Jack said, kissing her forehead. "But you, Laura, you taught me to love fiercely." As the sun dipped over the rolling hills, painting the sky in fiery oranges, Jack and Laura Harlan embraced their new Beginninga Testament to second chances forged in fire. What do you think? Should Laura have shot Victor on sight? Or was exposing him the smarter play? Share your take in the comments below. Do you believe in love after loss? Or is it too risky? Let's hear your views and spark a debate.